Welcome to ETUK Investigates.
Whoa, okay. No, hello, no. How's the weather?
Yeah.
We're just diving straight into the deep end today.
No time for pleasantries. We are looking at a catastrophic system failure today.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about a server farm going down in Silicon Valley.
Go ahead.
I'm not talking about a crypto exchange collapsing or a satellite falling out of orbit. I'm talking about a proprietary operating system that has been running with near-perfect uptime, generating immense revenue for over 25 years.
An operating system.
We are talking about the brand Beckham architecture.
Okay, hold on. You're calling the Beckham family, David, Victoria, the kids, an operating system. That feels a little dehumanizing, doesn't it?
Is it? I mean, think about it. This isn't just a family unit in the traditional sense.
Right.
It is a carefully coded algorithm of public image, endorsements, strategic marriages, and, controlled narratives.
Right.
It is a mainframe that has generated hundreds of millions of pounds. It runs on a specific code: perfection, unity, brand synergy. And on January 19th, 2026, we witnessed a critical error. A decentralized event. A rogue code broke the firewall.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. You're talking about the massive public feud between Brooklyn Beckham, the eldest son, the heir apparent, and his parents. But calling him rogue code, that's a pretty intense.
It fits, though. We have to frame this correctly. This isn't just another piece of celebrity gossip. This is a decentralization event. We are watching the source code of modern celebrity being leaked in real time.
And the crash happened on January 19.
The crash happened on January 19, 2026, a day that will live in PR infamy.
Right, the date is crucial here. January 19, 2026. This is the day Brooklyn posted that 821-word statement to his Instagram stories. And before we even get into what he said, we have to talk about when he said it.
Exactly. This wasn't a random Tuesday. This was a strategic deployment, a perfectly timed attack. Do you know where David Beckham was at that exact moment?
He was in Davos, Switzerland.
Davos, the World Economic Forum. I mean, picture the scene. You have heads of state, billionaires, tech moguls. It is the most serious, buttoned-up event on the global calendar.
The absolute peak of corporate and political power.
And David is there to shake hands with world leaders, talk about his work with UNICEF, and, solidify his image as a global statesman. He is pivoting from footballer to diplomat.
It's the ultimate business continuity play. He's securing the legacy, making the brand about more than just football and fashion.
And right as he is stepping onto that stage, trying to project stability and gravity, his notification center blows up. His own son launches a nuclear strike on the family image. It's the ultimate disruption.
It's interesting you call it a strike, because usually these celebrity feuds are leaked through sources, right? A friend says, or an insider claims. But this was direct.
It was a data dump, a whistleblower leak. So our mission today is to reverse engineer this glitch. How did the brand Beckham architecture worth hundreds of millions protected by the best PR firms in the world fail to contain this breach?
So we're not trying to figure out who's right or wrong.
No, we aren't looking at who is right. We are looking at how the system broke.
Okay, let's look at the data then. The January 19 manifesto, I've got the text here, and frankly, calling it a manifesto isn't an exaggeration. It reads like a deposition.
It really does. It's methodical. Let's unpack the specific language, because he didn't just say, "I'm mad at my mom and dad." He dismantled the entire user interface of their lives.
He starts with this line: "I have been silent for years." That's the hook. It immediately implies a history of suppression, of being silenced.
It's a classic whistleblower opening. I can no longer stay quiet.
But then he drops the hammer just a few lines later. "I do not want to reconcile with my family."
That is a termination of contract. Usually in these public spats, you leave the door open, don't you? You say, "We are working through things," or "We ask for privacy."
Always. You leave it out.
This is, "I am deleting my account."
Yeah.
It's a hard stop. No ambiguity.
And he goes after the core product, the brand's image. He accuses them of placing countless lies in the media to preserve their image.
But the part that really stuck out to me, and I think this is where the system metaphor really holds up, is his description of love.
The algorithm of love.
Yes. Talk me through that.
Exactly. He talks about how family affection was performative.
Yeah.
He specifically cites that love was decided by how much you post on social media or showing up for photo ops.
Think about the implications of that. In a normal family, love is an analog signal. It's a feeling. It's messy. It's private. It's inconsistent.
Right.
In the Beckham OS, love is a digital metric. It's quantifiable. It's data. Did you like the post? Did you comment with the heart emoji? Did you stand in the right spot for the paparazzi shot? If the data point doesn't exist, the love doesn't exist.
It's turning affection into a KPI, a key performance indicator.
Yeah.
And Brooklyn is basically saying, I'm failing my performance review because I'm not posting enough.
It's chilling, utterly chilling. It's like love is just another form of content for their feed.
And he identifies the result of running this software for too long. He calls it the bug.
The bug.
He mentions growing up with overwhelming anxiety. And here's the kicker. When did that anxiety stop?
He says it disappeared only after stepping away.
When he disconnected from the server. He says he wakes up grateful now that he is out of that environment, that ecosystem.
That is a damning user review. It's like saying, this app drained my battery and crashed my phone. He is saying the system's core features were actually bugs that were destroying his mental health.
So the big question is, where did this all start? Where did the file get corrupted?
Exactly. We have to ask, where did the corruption start? If we look at the logs, what is the origin code of this failure?
Every single source, including Brooklyn's own statement, points to one event. The corrupted file was introduced in April 2022.
The wedding.
The wedding in Palm Beach. The union of Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz.
This grand merger of two dynasties.
Or, as it turns out, a collision.
Now, usually, wedding drama is just drama. Someone gets drunk, the florist is late. But this was a system collision. We have to go deep on this because the details are actually mind-blowing. Let's start with the dress incident.
This has been a headline for years, but Brooklyn's manifesto completely reframes it. The public narrative was that Nicola snubbed Victoria by not wearing her design. It made Nicola look like the difficult one.
Right, that she was making a statement against her new mother-in-law.
But Brooklyn treats it like a breach of contract, a failure to deliver.
Okay, lay it out. Victoria was supposed to design the dress. That was the plan. Nicola was excited. It was going to be the ultimate Brand Beckham cross-promotion. Fashion icon mom dresses the new daughter-in-law.
The synergy is perfect. It's a marketing dream. You get a Vogue exclusive. You get all this positive press. It reinforces the whole family as a brand concept.
But then the crash. Brooklyn claims Victoria canceled in the 11th hour.
And we need to pause on 11th hour. Because for a bespoke wedding dress, that's not just an inconvenience, it's a catastrophe.
I want to pause on that too. Do you know how couture works? You don't just buy a dress off the rack. This involves sketches, toils, multiple fittings, fabric sourcing from Italy.
Months and months of work.
If you cancel in the 11th hour,
you are leaving the bride naked.
Practically, yes. It forced a massive scramble. They had to go to Valentino urgently. Imagine the stress. You are the bride. The wedding is massive. We're talking 500 guests, global press, Vogue covering it exclusively, and your future mother-in-law, who happens to be a fashion designer, ghosts you.
It wasn't just a logistical failure. It felt like a power move, a denial of service attack. It sent a message. I control the resources. I can turn them off.
It's an assertion of dominance right before the merger is finalized. Unbelievable.
And if the dress was the setup, the reception was the knockout blow.
Okay, we have to talk about the first dance hack. This is where my jaw hit the floor.
This is the story that, if true, completely validates Brooklyn's feelings of being a side character in his own life.
That's the scene.
So picture the scene. The ceremony is done. Everyone is at the reception. It's time for the first dance. Brooklyn and Nicola have chosen a specific romantic song. It's their moment. The spotlight is on them.
This is the one moment of the entire day that is unequivocally about the two of them.
And Mark Anthony is there. He's a close friend of the Beckhams. He takes the mic. The guests are hushed. Everyone's phone is out, ready to record this beautiful moment.
And instead of announcing the happy couple, what does he do?
He announces the most beautiful woman in the room, Victoria Beckham.
No, he did not.
He did.
Yeah.
Let that sit for a second. You are at your son's wedding. It is the one day where the focus is legally required to be on someone else. And the announcement is for you.
It gets worse. It gets so much worse. Victoria allegedly walks onto the dance floor.
And starts dancing with Brooklyn.
To the song that was meant for the bride and groom's first dance.
It's a literal hijacking. It's like she overwrote the file. Bride.exe, not found. Replacing with mother.exe.
Brooklyn's description of this is visceral. He says she danced very inappropriately on him. He says he felt uncomfortable and humiliated. Can you imagine? You're standing there, your mom is grinding on you to your wedding song, and your wife is standing on the sidelines.
And the report is that Nicola ran out of the room crying, which, let's be honest, is a completely rational human reaction. That is not being a diva.
Totally. That's not a bridezilla moment. That is a human being reacting to a narcissism algorithm running wild. If the spotlight isn't on the brand crashes the party. It reasserts dominance.
It creates this visual of total control.
Yeah.
Even as Brooklyn is trying to establish his own family unit, his own server, the mainframe pulls him back in.
But there's another layer to this wedding data dump that I think is even more telling about the internal logic of the family. The evil tag.
Oh, the seating chart. This sounds petty on the surface, who sits where, but when you peel it back, it's a clash of fundamental values. It shows the core programming.
Right. So, Brooklyn and Nicola are doing the seating plan. A nightmare for anyone. They have two nannies they want to honor. Nanny Sandra, that's Brooklyn's grandmother, and Nani, Nicola's grandmother. Both are elderly. Both are without their husbands at the event.
So they're going to be sitting alone at a table somewhere if they're not careful.
Exactly. So Brooklyn and Nicola make a human choice, a compassionate choice. They decide to seat the nannies at the head table with them, so they aren't lonely. They want their grandmothers close.
It's a sweet gesture. It's pure empathy, human empathy.
Exactly. But how did the system interpret that?
Error. Does not compute.
Error does not compute. Brooklyn claims Victoria called him evil for this.
Evil, that is a very strong word, not misguided, not mistaken.
Yeah.
Evil for seating your grandmother at the head table.
Because it violated brand protocol. In the Beckham OS, the head table is for the power players, the parents, the stars. The hierarchy of celebrity must be maintained visually for the photos, for the brand.
Right.
By prioritizing the help or the elderly, even if they are family over the hierarchy of the brand, Brooklyn introduced a bug into the visual code.
It highlights the clash between human connection, seating lonely grandmas together, and brand image, where the parents sit at the right hand of the groom to ensure the photos look correct. It's brand protocol versus basic kindness.
And that clash is what led to the breakdown. But, and here's where we need to lower our voices a bit. Come in closer.
Why are we whispering?
Because we're moving from emotional damage to intellectual property. This isn't just about feelings anymore. It's about who owns the copyright to the human beings involved.
Ah, the hidden system prompt. This is the part that makes you realize this is a business first and a family second. This is the source code.
We dug into the trademark databases, and guess what? Victoria Beckham trademarked all the kids' names years ago. Brooklyn, Romeo, Cruz, Harper.
Now, a parent might say, I'm protecting them. I don't want strangers making Romeo Beckham t-shirts and selling them on eBay. That's the argument you'd make publicly.
Sure, that's the PR explanation, the user-friendly explanation. But legally, it means the parents own the metadata of their children. They own the brand identity. Their names are assets.
Which is fine when they're kids, maybe. But they're adults now.
Exactly. Brooklyn is 26. Romeo and Cruz are adults. They can technically challenge this now. But Harper, she's 14. She is still locked in the system. Her name is an asset on her mother's balance sheet.
And this leads directly to the bribe allegation Brooklyn made. This is the smoking gun of the financial conflict.
The bribe protocol. This is where it gets really ugly. Weeks before the wedding, again, look at the timing. High stress, vulnerability. Brooklyn claims his parents pressured him to sign away the rights to his name.
Sign away the rights. That is heavy. Why then? Why the urgency in 2022? What was going on?
We have to open the context window here. We need to look at the macroeconomics of brand Beckham. What else was happening in 2022? Something huge.
David Beckham was selling a huge stake in his company, DB Ventures.
Right. DB Ventures. This is the entity that handles his endorsements, his whiskey brand, his perfume lines, the whole empire. He sold 55% of it to Authentic Brands Group ABG.
ABG is a titan. They own the rights to Elvis Presley, Marilyn Monroe, Muhammad Ali, Reebok. They are in the business of monetizing legacy. That's their entire model.
Exactly. And the price tag, £200 million. It was a massive exit event for David, a huge payday. But here is the catch. For ABG, what are they buying? David is in his late 40s. He's aging out of the underwear model demographic. The growth potential is in the next generation.
The kids.
The kids. If ABG is paying $200 million, they want to know that the Beckham name has a future. They want to sell Brooklyn Beckham cologne in 2030. They want Romeo Beckham sportswear. They're buying the whole franchise, not just the original movie.
So if the kids, specifically the eldest son, the heir, aren't part of the package, or worse, if they go off and start Brooklyn Beckham Inc. independently.
The asset is devalued. The lifetime value of the purchase drops significantly. You've bought a legacy brand with no legacy.
So the parents needed Brooklyn's signature to secure the full valuation of the deal.
It wasn't about protecting him. It was about closing the sale. He was the final piece of inventory they needed to get the deal over the line.
It was a dependency file. Deal.exe cannot run without brooklynrights.pdf.
And Brooklyn refused. He initiated the holdout protocol. He says in the manifesto, "My holdout affected the payday." He says it in plain English.
Wow. And the consequence? He says, "They have never treated me the same since."
That is chilling. It implies that the relationship was conditional on the transaction. When the transaction failed, the relationship was deprecated. If you don't help us get the $200 million, you are no longer a priority user.
It reframes the entire feud. It's not just mom hates my wife. It's I cost the family corporation millions of dollars by trying to own my own identity.
It's a business transaction disguised as parenting, and because of that failure, the communication protocols changed. We're not doing family group chats anymore.
No, we've entered the firewall phase. It's gone from Cold War to no contact.
By late summer 2025, Brooklyn isn't texting David. He's instructing his lawyers. Shillings.
That is a heavy-hitter firm. They are aggressive. They don't mess around. And he's sending desist notices to his parents' lawyers, Harbottle and Lewis.
Just listen to those names. Shillings versus Harbottle and Lewis. It sounds like a Dickensian battle, but it's modern TCP/IP routing through billable hours. The rule set was simple. No direct contact. No tagging on Instagram. Full radio silence.
It's a no-contact order, essentially. A restraining order for the digital age. You're legally forbidden from liking my posts.
And yet, the system tried to bypass the firewall. And this is the most absurd yet perfectly 2026 detail of the whole story. The breach.
The roast chicken incident.
I can't believe we are saying this with a straight face. The catastrophic failure of a multi-million-pound brand was triggered by a roast chicken.
Explain the glitch for the listeners, because it's just so petty but so revealing.
So the legal letter says, do not interact, total block. Brooklyn posts a video of himself cooking a roast chicken, a wholesome domestic content packet. He's trying to build his own little brand as a chef.
And Victoria.
She likes the post.
A single double tap.
To a normal user, that's a, hey, looks good, son. A little olive branch, maybe. But to Brooklyn, under the legal protocol, that was a breach of the firewall. It was a signal that she was ignoring the boundary he had set.
It's the ignore previous instructions prompt. She disregarded the legal parameters to reestablish the caring mother connection publicly. It was performative again. Look, I'm supporting him, while ignoring the legal do not disturb sign he had put up.
And the result, total system lockout. Brooklyn blocked the entire family. David, Victoria, Romeo, Cruz, everyone. He disconnected the node completely.
Which brings us to the other operating system in this equation. Because Brooklyn didn't just unplug, he plugged into a different network.
Yes. We have to talk about the merger failure, the clash between Brand Beckham and the Peltz empire.
We often think of the Beckhams as the top of the food chain. British royalty, essentially. But in this specific pond, they are the small fish.
Let's do the math. The Beckhams are rich, very rich, hundreds of millions, incredible wealth. But Nelson Peltz, Nicola's father.
He is a billionaire. Roughly 1.2 to 1.7 billion pounds, depending on the market. And he's not just rich, he's an activist investor.
Explain the difference, because it's a huge one.
David Beckham has soft power. He smiles, he models, people like him, he influences. Nelson Peltz has hard power. He buys stakes in companies like Disney and Unilever and forces them to change their CEO. He is a corporate shark. He eats Brand Beckhams for breakfast.
That is a different order of magnitude. That's I buy your company and dissolve it money, not I endorse your product money.
And there's a theory circulating from the Beckham camp, the hostile takeover theory.
Right. Sources close to the Beckhams, and notice how active these sources are right now, claim that Brooklyn has been absorbed by the Peltz Borg.
They use language like alienated and held captive. They paint a picture of Brooklyn being brainwashed by this billionaire clan, isolated from his true family. It's a very dramatic narrative.
It's a classic defense mechanism. Our product isn't effective. It was stolen by a competitor. Our son isn't unhappy. He's been hacked. But Brooklyn addresses this head-on in the manifesto.
He does. He says the narrative that his wife controls him is backwards. He claims he was controlled by his parents his whole life, and that the Peltz dynamic, he calls it peace.
That's the user experience comparison. Beckham's anxiety control. Peltz, peace autonomy. But there is a hidden encryption key here that validates the parents' fear. And you found it. the prenup.
Oh, the ironclad prenup. We got details on this, and it explains so much of their panic.
So if this marriage fails, if there's a system crash on the Peltz server, what happens to Brooklyn?
He gets zero access to the Peltz billions. Let's be clear on that. Zero. He leaves with only half of what he and Nicola made together as a joint brand, which, compared to the family wealth he's walked away from, is peanuts.
So, think about his position. He is cut off from the Beckham millions because of the feud. He has likely been written out of the will. And he is locked out of the Peltz billions by the prenup.
He has no backup drive. He has no safety net.
That terrifies the Beckhams. They feel he is walking a tightrope without a net. If Nicola decides to upgrade to a new husband in 5 years, Brooklyn is ostracized and broke.
It explains the panic. It explains the desperation. They feel like they've lost their asset to a hostile merger that gives him no equity. He's got all the risk and none of the reward.
Exactly. Now let's look at how the legacy system brand Beckham is defending itself. Because you don't build a global empire without having strong antivirus protocols.
We saw the response immediately. David Beckham at Davos.
He's on CNBC. The backdrop is snowy mountains. He's sitting there in his perfect suit. The interviewer asks about the social media storm, and what does David do?
He executes the glitch loop. He doesn't get angry. He doesn't get defensive. He pivots to the script. It's all UNICEF. Social media dangers.
It was robotic. I mean, you could almost see the code running. He says, I use my platform for good. I try to. I try to protect my children from the dangers of social media. He literally started to stutter. A human glitch in the PR machine.
But then he drops the line. The line designed to minimize the threat, to dismiss the whole thing.
Children make mistakes.
Oof. Children make mistakes. He's 26 years old, David. He is a married man with a mortgage. He's not a teenager who crashed the car.
It's condescension as a defense strategy. By framing Brooklyn as a child making a mistake, he dismisses the allegations. He's saying, this isn't a whistleblower, this is just a buggy program. We'll patch it later. Don't worry, shareholders.
It completely invalidates Brooklyn's agency. It treats the manifesto not as a valid grievance, but as a tantrum, a childish outburst.
And then you have the sibling firewall. The younger units are mobilizing to protect the system.
Cruz and Romeo, they aren't staying neutral. They're defending the mainframe.
And they're using the same tactics, public digital warfare.
Cruz posted that screenshot. He wanted to prove that he didn't unfollow Brooklyn. He was blocked by Brooklyn. He captioned it. Let's get the facts right.
He's doing damage control on the optics. We aren't the aggressors. We are the victims. He's the one who cut us off. It's a counter-narrative. But then Cruz posted a song code. Did you catch this?
The not such an innocent girl post.
Yes. He posts a photo of himself, and the track playing is Victoria's solo song, Not Such an Innocent Girl. I mean, come on.
That is subliminal warfare. Who is not innocent?
Definitely.
Nicola. Is he implying she's the manipulator? Is it a jab at Brooklyn? It's a message targeting the victim narrative Brooklyn is trying to build.
It's a very sophisticated use of metadata, using the mother's own back catalog to attack the brother's wife. It shows that the whole family is speaking the same code. They are all fluent in brand Beckham.
But despite the defense mechanisms, the damage is done. We pulled the reputation analytics, we looked at the karma report.
And the dashboard is flashing red. Brand Beckham's sentiment has crashed. Hard.
Before the manifesto, positive sentiment was around 20.6%, which is healthy for a celebrity brand. Most people felt pretty good about him.
But after the drop, it plummeted to 6.3%.
Single digits. That is a catastrophic loss of trust. That's a stock price collapsing.
And negative sentiment spiked to nearly 47%. Almost half of all mentions are now negative.
Because the core product of brand Beckham is the illusion of perfection. It's the happy family. It's the Sunday roasts. It's the we are a team. Brooklyn didn't just attack them personally. He destroyed the product market fit.
You can't sell family values when your son is posting legal desist letters on Instagram. The product is broken.
So where does this leave us? Where does the system go from here?
Well, what we have is a legacy system, the Beckhams, trying to integrate with a new operating system, the Peltzes. And it has resulted in a catastrophic incompatibility, a fatal error.
It's a tragedy of content versus connection. Brooklyn is rejecting the brand in favor of the human. He wants a wife, not a co-brand. He wants a mother, not a manager. He's opting out of the algorithm.
But the cost is total isolation. He has successfully decentralized himself, but now he is an independent node in a very large, very expensive network. He's on his own.
And he's hoping the connection he has with Nicola is strong enough to replace the server he just disconnected from.
So as we wrap up this investigation, I want to leave you with a thought. We live in a world where we are all becoming brands. We curate our feeds. We manage our public image. But the Beckhams are the extreme end of that spectrum.
They are the prototype. They showed us how to do it. They wrote the playbook.
Right. And here's the question. In a world where your name is a registered trademark and your love is measured in likes, is it actually possible to divorce your family without getting sued for copyright infringement?
That is the question. Or maybe we are looking at something new. Maybe Brooklyn is just the first version of a new update. The Nepo baby, who realized the only way to win the game is to delete the account.
This has been ETUK Investigates.